You ready?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, baby hood rats and adult hood rats that claim to be your parents? This is Silent Funk Plus One. My name is Rhinoceros Funk. This man right here to my lower left corner, Hollywood Square, is JS1, aka Germs.
Yeah.
And then to my right lower Hollywood Square is a Silent Someone, producer extraordinaire, and a man who owns over 30,000 tank tops.
I wish, motherfucker. You know how hard these are to find? Forget it.
A good tank top is hard to find, doggy.
Yeah, nowadays.
I mean, you got a nice and baggy. Some of my joints be showing my nipples. It's like the shorty I went to high school with. She had like 54'11s, but she had her daddy's feet. So you can see her toenails. I feel bad for that shorty. I'm sure she got pregnant though. Yo, Sin, how you doing?
Good, man. Thank you guys for joining me on Now Hear This. The group is Silent Funk. The introductions have already been made. The new project dropping very soon is Silent Funk, Silence Before the Funk. This is part 3. If you guys could really, just talk a little bit about, this creative process. The newest member, DJ JS1. How did you join the group? I know you guys go way back, but just talk a little bit how you joined the group.
Well, the main thing for me is that we happen to just really see eye to eye on the style of music that this group makes. So when they first approached me to throw a scratch on a record, it just clicked really well. We work real well, communicate really well. And it just made sense to continue and then just keep bringing me in on more stuff. At least that's how I look at it. And I enjoy doing it because I've worked with a ton of different people. A lot of times it's 50-50 on whether I get out of it the type of vibe or song or meaning of what I like exactly. I'm not rhyming. So a lot of the times when I'm if I'm just doing scratches or I'm doing a beat and doing scratches for other stuff, I don't always get out of it what I love. And this just happened to click. Like they do exactly kind of what I would be doing if they weren't in the room either. So it works out perfectly, and I enjoy doing it. So that's how we linked up.
I think Sal is the perfect person because Sal is really the glue. You know what I'm saying? Like, JS and I have worked in the past. You know what I'm saying? But it was Sal that really made that bridge. And there was one instance where Sal, and I had in the back of my mind, like he was, he already had JS doing cuts on Matt songs, and Sal was, you know what, right now? That's how he talks. You know what? Yeah, he goes, you know what, right now? I think I'm gonna ask him to join the group, and I was like, yo, bro, I had a dream about that shit, B.
Yeah, man.
And I just didn't have like the balls to be like, yo, ask him. But Sal was always the guy that was like, yo, man, look what JS did on our track. And I'm like, oh my God, it was mind blowing. So Sal, please, like how did you balance that kind of like, I'm gonna keep reaching out to him as to what you and I were doing?
Like the reason it's just like to make us complete as a group, because I feel like instead of just asking him, why don't he be a part of this thing? And and it'll just make us complete, because I feel like we're like more complete now as a group. Like we were missing something before we invited JS to, be a part of this thing.
And to add to that, also, when you including me gives me freedom to do what I feel works, as opposed to sometimes trying to just do what I think somebody else wants, or trying to take orders. There's been times where people just tell me exactly how they want to scratch or what it is, and so I don't really get to add any of my flavor to it. So by him including me, I get to kind of bring some of my.
We also discussed how, because you alluded to it, but we also discussed how and we're not going to mention names, but how Silent was able to place your scratches that made you feel comfortable giving him the scratches. Right. I know he's going to do good with them, right? Which is some other people that may have not done that in the past. I'll leave it at that.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's a risk when anybody that rhymes knows that too. Even producers, when you send somebody files, you don't know that they're going to place that correctly.
Yeah.
A million instances where that happened. We kind of work well together doing that. When we have to, just send files, we're on point with that. But the overall thing to me, the most important thing is definitely the vibe and the style, the song concepts, the scratch choices, the style of drums and samples, the stuff he's rhyming about. That's the most important thing to me. I've it's not a secret. Like I fall out of love of a lot of stuff sometimes. I'm like, I don't really dig what this group's doing, even though it's good. It just doesn't. It's not my thing.
Right.
So the style, this style is right for me. So I'm very happy with doing more and continuing.
I think a big part. I mean, and if you go back to our music, like Sound Nine, you know, for like we are DJs. I mean, we love to spin records, and a lot of our music has like a bit of our own scratching, right? But to have someone of Jess's caliber, we're like, hell freaking yeah! Like this is like Sal said, man, it's elevated our content. It's
Yeah,
elevated.
even like our song structure. Sorry, Rhino, but like our song structure and we have another creative mind to bounce an idea off of. You know what I mean? There's three of us now, so I love that shit. I love that.
And JS, I mean, well, for those who don't know, man, JS is an idea guy. I mean, this guy will have ideas about everything, and it's beautiful to have someone that just like, yo, man, you ever and connect so many things, right? That you're like, holy cow! And Sal and I, whatever, man, have our own retard language, right? Sal and I could not finish one sentence over the phone, and then at the end be like, you understood that? I'm like, perfect. And then he'll send me the file, like, that's exactly what I meant. Oh, and then Tony Jazz like, he speaks our own language too. I'm like, oh shit, now we're three retard languages. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal to work with someone like that, dude.
I really like all the movie samples. There's a lot of movie samples, a lot of different little vocal samples and breakdowns in the music.
Mm-hmm.
And as a DJ and somebody that used to like to do, like when me and Spinbad started doing like the 4-track together, we were just trying to bounce tracks and use as many samples and stuff from movies and TV shows with the cuts. And over the years, like it's in songs, but it's not just like, some people that just play a movie sample at the beginning or just the end. This is like totally incorporated through and placed wisely. Like a lot of the samples and choices that I'm used to. So it really clicks, and it's interesting because it's not boring. As a DJ, I complain a lot of stuff that sometimes stuff is boring to me. It's just like, the beat just goes, the dude just rhymes. He just wants to hear himself rhyme as much as possible. They rhyme to the end of the beat. There's nothing to mix. There's nothing. There's no parts that breathe. There's no breakdowns, no bridges, no extra samples coming in and out. And so there's a lot of that stuff on the Silent Funk albums. And so that kind of had me like from day one. Yeah.
So going on what you just said, it's like, Sai and I, we call each other. Oh man, did you see this flick? Did you see? And then we'll pick out funny samples, right? We don't. We stayed away from hip hop, for like these glorifying mobster movie samples. Like, nah, man. I mean, Will Ferrell. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing in Samuel Jackson, saying, we're gonna stick a hand up your ass and make it talk like a puppet. Things like that you can take and say, yeah, man.
The Loathing joint, the Hunter S. Thompson shit.
I mean, we take these samples from Love and Hip Hop, right? Like the Hip Hop Dalmatians, bro. Like I've been laughing at that shit for 20 years.
Right.
It's like, it fits here perfectly, right? Just that part. We took from Joe Dirt, right? And I mean, we laugh at them, but then create serious content around them. And back to JS's point of like this not falling into the mold, like shit's boring, right? We got a track shit's boring with Rex on it. And prior to JS getting on it, it was just very shit's boring. But then in between Rex and I, you have basically like a JS verse.
Yeah, did a scratch verse.
With scratches, right? And it takes away from that regular format of just verse, hook. We gave you a verse of a DJ scratching, and I think that's what we bring to the table is trying to re- make hip hop better, relay in a different manner. Right?
It's definitely not for everybody. Not everybody loves cuts like that, but the people that do appreciate that style of hip hop will love this.
Right.
That that's what it is. I know for myself and a lot of the different DJs and people that appreciate stuff with cuts on it. They'll definitely really appreciate the choice of scratches as well, which is something we always look forward to seeing. Every time Preem does cuts on a song,
Mm-hmm.
trying to see what the phrases that he cut, where he cut it from, and trying to be clever with it. There's a lot of stuff that you would hear a song and think, oh, that's a dope thing to cut. But what's cool is when you use stuff that's off the beat. It's like, oh damn, they cut that. That's kind of sick. So there's a lot of that involved in this.
Right.
I guess we could say for the nerdy hip hop people like myself that appreciate that, and try to study and pick it apart.
Yeah, we've all heard cuts cut to death. We've all heard cuts cut to death.
You know, it, you,
Next
you know
question. That was only one question, man. We need one question. What the
I
fuck
don't know
going
how you
on
do
here?
it, but
You're
I know the
destroying this interview. This is the best interview ever.
Right.
You only had one question down.
Can you guys talk about the conversations you had going into this project about the direction and the concept of the album?
Oh, there was no concept, though. No, there was no concept. We had a couple of songs left over from the joint we dropped back in September, and we definitely said, "Yo, let's add up on these, right?" And Sal sends me beats. He was sending me beats for other things, and I was like, "You know what, yo, we could do this." And then again, Sal was just like, "Yo, I think JS was sound crazy on this." I'm like, "Is he gonna do it?" And then like 3 hours later, JS is on it. I'm like, "This guy's good." And it'll just like I'm like jealous of your relationship. Why is he doing this so fast? But it would work out, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, this shit is so crazy. It's so dope." And it just, I mean,
It started forming on its own, like
Yeah.
just becoming its own thing, and then becoming the album that it is. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it really took a real turn to say, "Holy cow!" When Sal said, "Yo, man, I think we should have a full JS track." And when that occurred, that's when I was like, "All right, now people should be scared of us, right?" Because I get the scratches, I get the song laid out, and he's like, "Yo, JS wants you to talk in it," and I'm like, "Where?" There's just 4 minutes of him going bananas. What am I gonna say? You'll do it. I cuddled my notebook every night with my favorite crayons. I'm like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? And after a little while, it worked out. And I mean, the video's coming out soon. It's called Affected by Germs. But when we laid down a track totally devoted to him, I was like, holy cow, this is something that people should really be listening to.
yeah, and that cemented us as a group. I think like that song.
Well, what it does is that it a lot of the songs actually allows everybody's kind of their personality to kind of show, like the tracks, like they're his tracks, and you can hear it. The cuts, the way I do my cuts, I kind of have a way. Most people that know scratches would know if I did it or not, probably. And the way Rhino does his stuff and what he's talking about, everybody's personality gets to shine through, and the cool thing is that they happen to fit. There's a lot of groups that have multiple talented people in it, but maybe they shouldn't be in the same group. Maybe they should, they could swap with other groups and they probably fit better. But I feel like all three of the style of stuff we do fits really well, and I dig the album. I've done a lot of stuff, put out some of my own stuff that I didn't really, didn't hit the mark like I wanted to. But this definitely this one's on point for sure.
It takes pressure off, I think, right? Because there be joints
Yep.
I'll sit here with, and I'll do something too, and I'll sit on them. And that's the other thing is like, we're all accomplished in our own thing. Like, we don't have to go and create in the same location. So I'll get the beat from Sal. I'll do my crazy shit, and I'll sit on it for like 3 days. And Sal's like, send it. And then I get attached to it, You know, I try to get it pregnant, and then I send it to Sal, and then Sal sends it back as a reformed Lady of the Night with JS cuts on it, and I'm like, this is better than the one I did. So this trust in one another
Yes.
is something that I think is very special.
So, what is the creative process between you three? I know Silence making a track. How does that, disperse between the other two? Is there votes on which track to use? Are you guys in the studio? What is the creative process between you three?
Who wants to take that? Me? I'll take it. It varies because it's like I could send, or lately, like I'll send JS the track before I even send it to Rhino. And I'm like, I have these ideas, maybe you want to look for some, like shit like that way. Or it could be Rhino lays it down. Rhino might have an idea like for these, I want this to be cut, or I might even have it already added into the beat. Then we send it to JS and like that, or JS will just throw us ideas if you think, maybe we should do it this way. And then I'm like, oh yeah, let's try that, or Rhino even too.
I mean, one of the big things in how it starts is again Sal's retarded brain. Like do damage. That was the name of the beat you sent me, right? So I'm like, all right, I do damage, right? So it'll be most of the times I'll just go off what he named the song, what he named the beat, right? And then I'm like, you know what? I can switch that to kind of fit into a political theme or a theme of being dope, whatever it may be. But I will take that and I'll rock with it. And again, I feel this is so effortless that there isn't this kind of like, oh, what do we talk about now? And I'm obviously, I mean, I'm very happy that I got dudes that love what I say. You know what I mean? And are in occurrence with what I say, right? And our shit is, yo, man, we're observers of culture. We get the right to point out who's doing it sloppily, right?
Right.
And dude, we are also advocates for people, and people are being treated shitty. And this is our form of saying that.
Right. Besides the addition of JS to the group, how is this album different from you guys' previous work, or do you think it's a continuation?
I don't know. I would say it's kind of a continuation. You know what I mean? It's just another, like, I never think that it ends, right? Like, it's just a different chapter of a book, of the Silent Funk book. Right?
Yeah. But this chapter got letters and crayons in it and pictures.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
In high def picture.
Like that, yeah. Man. It got a little better, man. It's a pop-up book now, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's but it keeps moving. I mean, we already have an intro and a couple of songs for the next joint. You know what I'm saying? I think we are. I say, look, we're grown men who love what we do, and then we found other grown men that love what they do. You know, it's like joining an over 40 karate tournament in the valley, but we don't fight. We just do hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they have like over 30 basketball tournaments. People love to be around people who love to do what they do, and we have that fucking that advantage at the moment. And that's just really cool. So it's, to be honest, I'm more excited into this fourth one where there is going to be more JS influence than what we did in three, because three, like I said, there were songs that were already done and he would add on, and we of course added joints that weren't on prior. But starting from the beginning with four, he's going to be influential into everything. And that to me is the best part, man. Like it really is. It really is.
Very dope. Now, you guys got some collaborations on this album. Talk about those collaborators and the relationships behind those.
Well, we really have to, like, two other people. Rex on Shit Is Boring. Silent was working with Rex, so we got him on that. And then I had this wrestling, man. I grew up in the early '80s, bro, and I had this wrestling idea and these sound bites from Terry Funk and Jake the Snake and Macho Man, and my man Mike Titan is a wrestling fan, so We put him on that, and it's called Mega Powers, and that's really it.
And Tone Spliff is a,
And Tone Spliff, yes, he does the cuts
he
on
does
Can.
can. And that song was before like JS was like that song was one of the old songs that were recorded already. So that's the reason for that. You know, that he's doing the cuts or whatever.
Right. Very dope.
Yeah.
Now for Silent, did you experiment with any techniques or new sounds for this particular album?
New set. Yeah, maybe the records that I was, digging into. Like I was probably use. I don't know. Let me think for a minute. Might have been a lot of Italian records and Japanese records, and I think I used for this record was the first record that I used the MPC one. Like the last record I used my SP404, and yeah, so that's the different that using that piece
right
of equipment and the records.
Now, at this point, I want to jump into some tracks from that new project. If you guys can kind of give me some background, some fun facts, or, just where you were at mentally going into these tracks. We'll start out with Get to Know, the intro.
Oh. I don't know.
So that's, that Get to Know was, I love it because that was I'm surprised you jump in, so, but Silent with the son just graduated from high school.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
man. Damn, B.
I'm sorry. Like a little.
I'm gonna buy that kid off of you cash. Now he's my kid. I love him more. No, so I was able to. I mean, they collaborated. His son gave him some pointers, and he's getting into music as well. So like when I heard that they were working on this beat, I was like, that has to be our intro, right? And I mean, hanging out with Sal so long, watching his kids grow into men, it's a fantastic thing. I'm like, we got to put that on there, right? And then JS came up with scratches, right? But it still says Silent Funk. And then I'm in the car and smoking a doobie. Now, and then I'm listening to Beat Nuts, and Fashion says used to be 2 in the crew, now it's +1. And I'm like, we gotta add that at the end, bro.
And that's even after, like that was even everything was already recorded. Like we mixed it and mastered it, and then Rhino said we should put that, and then we added that later on.
Yeah, because I mean, it's always good to make somebody feel good, bro. And our goal was to say, yo, man, we want you in this crew, and we're gonna make sure that every day we're gonna let you know that you're part of this team, yo.
So, yeah, and the sound bites, there's some sound bites in it, like I used like a Scott LaRock interview, and just the things he was saying is how I was feeling. Like I just stumbled on this video on YouTube, and then I was like, oh shit, this guy's saying everything the way I feel about me and Rhino. That like I feel like people fear us, and now I think they fear us even more because he's added to the group. You know what I mean? So like we're this like trinity. You know what I mean?
Right. Collapso.
Collapso was one of those joints that was supposed to go on 2 and didn't, and it just didn't balance out well what we had. But we revisited, and then we added some JS cuts at the end.
Yeah.
One Gear.
Woo! One Gear again. I'm in my little studio office here, and I was smoking a doobie. And the MF Doom album Food had turned 20 years old, and I remember going to the release party over there, BB King, and One Beer is one of my favorite fucking tracks. So I hit Sal drunk, and I was like, "Yo, I want to remake this joint, but I'm gonna remake it as an homage, right? Taking his syllable breakdowns, the similar sounds, but writing it in my own style." And Silent came like 24 hours later with this beat that, again, like I mentioned, I think rivals the original one. And if you hear it in comparison, you see how I took his rhyme scheme, like sound for sound, but use my own messages within those within that rhyming scheme, and then also then use the Spider-Man joint from the Rhino, right? So I mean, if you're a nerd, that's the song you want to break down, tell your mother about, and then slap your dad too.
Yeah. And then when he told me that idea, right? Originally, I was gonna use the records that they use, like the original, sample, but like different parts and shit. But then I was like, nah, that's why. And then I just came up with what I came up with.
Right. Silent Nights.
Ooh.
Again, that's a joint that so years ago, Sal goes, we've done a lot of music together. Sal goes, hey man, why don't you just record how I send you the shits? And I'm like, what? Because I would take his beat and I would chop it up. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And Silent Nights is one of those beats that a lot of people can't mess with. First of all, that's what it was called, Silent Nights, right? So then I took Hunter S. Thompson, rocked it out with that. But then there's these guitar riffs, and I'm like, I can't leave anything empty on a silent beat because then he has a wife beater, he beat me up. So I go into these like singing lunacies, right? Just to make everything on that beat kind of not have dead air, and that's what you have there. It's discussing silent. I mean, how our creations are best felt on the sun is down and our goals, and it's kind of crazy. And then JS came in out of nowhere, like half a bar scratch. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know it was there, but he's on there as well.
Can you add to that, JS?
That one, I think I'm not sure if he sent me the sample, the cut for that one or not. I forget which ones he sent me or not. But the main thing for me is trying to when I'm adding the cuts on these songs, if it's not a specific full scratch hook, it's trying to accent the parts
Right.
where he drops out, where it's connecting to the next part, kind of like a bridge, bringing it along. You know, um, keeping it going where it's not boring. That's what I mean. For me, anyway, a lot of the stuff that I love coming up in the '80s and early '90s, a lot of the production nonstop had stuff going through it. When Muggs was making those records or Dre records, Premier, any of the different big name producers from back then, Bomb Squad stuff, there was just tons of different things through there. So I feel like my job is to fill in those little spots and kind of hit you with something quick and exciting that you'll remember to keep it, to keep you coming back. Same thing like if you think of Masterfield by Gangstar, right? He's just got that one little part in there from Kane when it does raw in the verse. But everybody knows that part when it comes up. It's just one word song. So those little things mean a lot. It's just trying to place them in the right spots and bring the DJ part, but not try to be the guy.
Right. Can opener laws.
That's interesting. That's one Tone Split does the cuts. So um I guess I was like mad at somebody, and so that song is I use a lot of terms that you would find if you were dealing with attorneys, right? And I was working for an attorney at the time, so there's a lot of again, go seek a barrister, litigious, liable. There's a lot of joys in there, and funny enough, but the point is. And then we have the Guru scratch with there ought to be laws against you yapping your jaws, right? So that whole ought to be laws against you yapping your jaws. I was like, you know what? There should be laws against you yapping your jaws, right? And not necessarily MCs, but there should be laws against politicians yapping their jaws. There should be laws against people that don't have half a brain on social media yapping their jaws. It takes on a bigger note than just clowns that think they can rap. We live in a world where people are freely yapping their jaws with no basis. So that's where that comes from.
Mega Powers.
That's the wrestling joint.
The wrestling.
I mean, who wasn't a wrestling fan? And I mean, you got things in it. But wrestlers say the most amazing things, bro. Terry Funk said, I'm gonna hang him. I'm gonna kill him, and then I'm gonna torture him." I'm like, word in that order, bro. Like wrestlers say amazing things, and kayfabe to me is how I live my life. This is kayfabe, right? I'm being excited right here, but at 7:57, I gotta slap myself and say, "Hey, get ready." I still couldn't even muster the strength to sit down regularly. I'm laying down, cigarettes, drinking vodka. You know what I mean? Like, kayfabe is that, right? I am ready to perform for you, and in this hip hop world, that's what an MC is. I'm always ready to perform for you. I'm always ready to show you the funk, brother. That's here. So that's
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I love about wrestling. You know what I'm saying? That kayfabe shit, and it's amazing because we're about to shoot a video for that, and I actually we've been looking for a wrestling ring, and I got a DM from this dude. He's like, "Yo, man, that song you got is real tough, man. It's dope." I'm like, "Who is this guy?" I look up, and he says his profile is professional wrestler slash MC. I'm like, I hit that motherfucker back. I was like, "Yo, me and you gotta be friends, man. What's up?" And he's like, "Yo, he is part of a wrestling organization in Schenectady. I lived in Albany for that long. I'm like, yo, we're gonna go up there." He's like, "Yo, we got people that want to be in your video." I'm like, "Dude, who doesn't fucking love wrestling?"
Gonna be dope.
Yeah, man. So, dude, I think it appeals to our inner child.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people who grew up like we did. You know what I'm saying? Believing wrestling was real to your grandmother called you a faggot. So I know it's hey, man. My grandmother's an asshole.
do damage.
Yo, I'm gonna let these guys handle that one.
What am I supposed to say about it? I just made the beat.
You did. I mean, but it all right. So did make the beat right, and I was watching the other guys a lot. That's where we got the Samuel L. Jackson joint, right? But the way Sal posed it, right? I think it's very important to that song. And then now we have a remix that JS did.
Woo!
I think it turned it into something that you can go into a mosh pit and
Yeah.
defeat
Yo,
like 30 crazy crackers, right? Like you go to a mosh pit with this in a Walkman, Maxell, just straight 45, just keep playing. And what JS did to this was make it into Bonnaroo. I mean, JS, talk about that remix, please.
fucking energetic, fucking ride. That's what it is. Man.
Damage,
Crazy.
damage. So I just, first, I mean, the cuts that you had that I do damage, I do damage. It's just hard. The original track is hard, and then so you were saying if you want to do a remix, I was just thinking like something charged up, and like PE comes to mind. So I just think of like a constant loud sounds kind of continuously through it, and then I found something and it actually kind of was in key, kind of flowed, and then just adding cuts like some loud guitar cuts and just that extra LL
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh.
When he sent it to me, I was like, I was fucking sitting by the computer and I was just like, this shit is crazy. This shit is better than my shit.
Nah, it's just the vibe of all
I
the
love that shit. I
it's,
love it, man.
it's working well because like I said, we're all I think the end goal, like subconsciously we all have the same end goal, even if we don't realize it when we're starting songs and projects. So everything is been coming out right. It's a blessing. It doesn't always happen like that. I know I've been doing stuff with a bunch of different people. It doesn't always work. So
Right.
whatever it is right now, we're gonna keep it rocking and rolling because it's going good.
Talk about how you approach the track "Infected by Germs."
Oh,
All right, I guess I'll take that for a second. So we wanted to do some kind of a DJ track where I kind of scratch a lot, and a lot of times when first of all, I mean, not a lot of people do those songs.
Right. Anymore.
I mean, at least not anymore. And in our approach, we tried to do it a little bit different, actually. So a lot of the times when those songs would get made in the past, it would be the MC would write the song, and then he'd either leave little spaces open or he'd have an idea like of what the phrase would be and write it in a song. So this time we kind of did it opposite, which is tough. But it came out cool. It's different. So I added in the scratches first and cut all the phrases, and I left parts open for him to rap. Definitely a different way to do it because I don't know what he's gonna say, so I'm trying to just find lines that I thought were cool to represent myself through the song.
So
And
I mean,
drum scratches, and yeah, we just tried to make it like a really busy, cool DJ song where it's also cool to listen to, and it's an interaction between the beat, the MC, and the DJ. A lot of interaction as opposed to me just trying to show off like I'm trying to win a battle.
so to me, and it's so like, normally like, on an album, I think of like the Lentricism track, right, on Company Flow, but that was just the beat and a couple of scratches. This song is normally something that you don't find on an album cut. It would stand alone, right, because it's such a big DJ song. Beat changes, massive transitions, and the fact that he just carved out little pockets for me to say things, and it was a bit difficult at times to go back to that because I didn't know what to say, and then I just took from what the scratches were saying in order to again hype him up, right? Because that's the MC's job, hype up the DJ. We're here because of this guy right here, right? And when I kind of got that, like, all right, you know what? And I started out from the back, right, and then worked my way to the beginning of the song. Um, it took some days to be like, yo, man, I don't know if he's gonna like it.
Yeah, I mean, he was like texting me and calling me. He's like, I don't know where to begin, where to start.
Yeah,
It's the odd way to write. The odd way to write for sure.
it was. I mean, it was one. I've never been nerve wracked writing a song, and that was the first time I was like, holy shit, how's this gonna sound? Should we do it with like a telephone voice? Like, remember I sent you a version that was just like a telephone voice kind of thing, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just send you all the vocals regular, and you do it, and that's the whole thing, right? I had enough confidence, and I said, you know what, I have a lot of shit here, so I told Sal, I said, yo, I did a lot. Feel free to take out what you want to take out. I trust you.
It came out dope. It's like a conversation between us telling other people about us.
Yeah.
That's how yeah, it's definitely really dope and definitely in an odd way. As someone that's like just my whole life was all about DJ songs, DJ tracks, listening to that stuff. This is definitely a good one and a way different approach from what I would say. Trying to do it that way. I'm real happy with the way we did that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the beat is sick. The beat is sick.
It's better than a let me clear my throat. It's better than that. Hands down.
A different agenda.
I mean, again, you don't hear this. Like, you don't hear an MC going back and forth with the DJ's cuts. You don't hear that. You don't hear that.
It's very far and few in between. I mean, in the indie scene, there's people that do it, but there's not a lot of groups that have a dedicated DJ where they make multiple albums and then do dedicate songs to just their DJ and talk about that. That definitely more prevalent back in the day. Dilated did it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know that I'm just trying to think. So there had to be somebody more recently that did it, but like groups like Ugly Duckling and stuff more.
The dilated shit was a good example.
Yeah, but I'm happy trying to bring that stuff back because there's a whole audience for it, and not to go off on a tangent, but I feel like there's scratches in a lot of indie stuff, but a lot of the underground indie scene, the concepts and what they're talking about isn't always what that scene was about. And so for us to keep the scratches, yeah, it turns a little bit more of like the guys that would have used to been on the thuggy mixtapes that we would have made fun of. It seems like they don't have an outlet in the commercial world anymore as much. So they tried to infiltrate our world a little bit. And I don't need the fake drug dealer gun guys.
Right.
They don't do DJ songs. So that's why I love this shit because they don't really do hip hop. They rap. And the DJ song is like a huge standout from that kind of stuff because all the people that they put on the pedestal, they can never do this kind of stuff in a million years. And that's something that's also real.
Right. Gluttons.
Gluttons. Rhinoceros.
Gluttons, right? If you know me, you know I'm a political economist, and again, movies. So watching Boiler Room, and was able to pull that. Let's do the Ben Affleck saying, was it money? Those who don't have money, or those who say money can't make you happy, look at the smile on my fucking face. And I mean, dude, look at the world around us. The rich are constantly screwing over the poor. So the song is about gluttons, people who can't stop being greedy, people who have this generational wealth that no one seems to understand, right? The Roosevelts of the world, right? These people still exist, right?
Yeah.
Right.
These people are still around. I mean, we still have a world with monarchs, and I feel that if you're gonna have a voice, you might as well use your voice for something. And Gluttons is one of those songs, you know. So I take it from an angle of a person who is in this society, in this world, that it doesn't matter. I'll cause a war, in order to bring back money, right? Um, I mean, we with Iran, you guys know what. Kermit Roosevelt. Kermit Roosevelt was the one who overthrew the Mughalish in Iran in 1953 and installed the Shah. But Kermit Roosevelt was Theodore Roosevelt's grandson, and that man did a lot of damage. No pun intended. The man did a lot of damage in order to get oil interests into Iran. And then when we wonder today, what's going on over there? Why? Well, let's look back at this history where greed has led to these points of political ideas that now turn people into racists, or turn people into terrorists. These are things that have been constructed by the rich. And that's what Gluttons is about. Merry Christmas.
And that's like sound wise, I consider that leans more to the rock side, along with Silent Nights. It has more of a rock feel.
Right.
But like with hip hop infused in it. That's it for that.
That's another song I get to sing on.
Right.
So you guys touched on shit's boring a little earlier in the conversation. Broadcasting live.
Oh, Sal, take that one.
Beat. Well, like yeah, I was making the beat. I found this Ultra Mag live record, and I was listening to it, and they, the beginning, like the sound man's like, New York City makes some noise, and all this stuff. So then I'm hearing that, and I'm like, oh, and I start getting this idea for like the broadcasting live. It's just the title. Then I find drums, and then I find all the sounds. Send it to Rhino, and then he lays it down. Then and also Rhino had the ideas for the cuts. He was the one with the.
I was here smoking a doobie, and I was watching Wedding Crashers, and I was like, "Yo, what is Chaz's last name?" And I'm like, "Yo, this dude." All I kept thinking was about him doing this at the funeral, and I'm like, "That's a savage motherfucker, bro." So I put the movie on. I was like, "Oh, his name is Chaz Reinhold," and it all started with tackling this craft blindfold, crashing and smashing Chaz Reinhold. And then from there, it was just like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna just be funny in this whole fucking song. And we bring up the Joe Dirt reference, right? And we keep moving. There's a Curtis Mayfield reference, there's a Fred Berry reference. I was flicking through channels. The Love and Hip Hop joint, the Hip Hop Dalmatians. The whole is mine. got together. The whole is mine. Yo, my man, that shit to me is hilarious. But if I can take all that, make a hodgepodge out of it, that was intended.
Yeah.
It has a hodgepodge album. It's called Hodgepodge. Check it out. So the point is, I take all that. The Vinny, right? We grounded like positive traction. I threw her voice in there because we are grounded. We're grounded individuals. We're grounded grown men. Like positive traction. God damn it. We're not up in the air thinking we're gonna be rich. Like my man JS said, man, if sex sells, we're going broke.
Woo!
But at least we'll be happy.
The fact.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Oh my God, dude, that song. I was high, smoking a doobie. Nah,
That's another song. That's another song from.
That was gonna go on that, but that one was. I was watching a documentary of Louis Armstrong, and they were talking about all of his old tapes that he had left in his house in Queens, right? And they started going through the old tapes, right? And because he would record himself, so they played some of the tapes on this documentary, and he would say some of the shit that he couldn't say performing for white people. So I was like, yo, dude, like this is his avenue for rebellion, right? So I took that in a sense to make the hook about Louis, man. Like, yo, wop bop, Lou bop, you know what I'm saying? Give it to him, Louis, because he was only able to give it to him on tape. He couldn't give it to him in person because he had to maintain this persona, this kayfabe for him to eat. But the fact that these tapes were found here in New York City in his house in Queens, I thought that shit was fucking magical. So that's where that comes from.
What you got there?
What you got there? That's just the interlude.
Outro.
And yeah, we placed it like before the last song. But yeah, what you got there? Yeah, it's just the interlude. Just some rambling.
And the last track, Can't Ignore Us.
I mean, that's really I'm sure we call that can't ignore. You can't ignore us. Well, that's goddamn good. I mean, that's really what it is. You know, Sal sent it over. It said can't ignore us. I was like, goddamn right, you can't. You can't, right? And then I put that big pun at the end because on 2 the intro had pun starting that album. So we gotta end with pun. So I mean, Can't Ignore Us, the video's out now. Go check that out. It looks like we're 3 grown guys having a blast.
Yeah, for sure.
So much fun. And that's what it really is. It's 3 grown men having fun, talking about hip hop.
Hip hop.
You know what I'm saying? You can't ignore this crew, bro. You can't.
Talking about singles and videos, you guys dropped 2 singles. You just said Can't Ignore Us and Broadcasting Live. What has the feedback been like so far for those songs?
Oh, in my opinion, really good.
It's good.
Yes,
good.
Like really good. Like
I haven't argued with anybody online, so that's a good sign.
I'm pleasantly surprised. Like I'm liking the feedback that we're getting, and it's a lot of it to me is coming from like just general hip hop fans and not so much like other artists. You know what I mean? Because I don't really look for that. I'd rather just I want a fan base, and not in that sense. I just want people that enjoy good hip hop to enjoy the shit that we make because we make
I'll
good.
Be honest with you. So like everybody that does a radio show or indie pop show, everybody collects all the new stuff that comes out. We all try to stay up on all of the new stuff. So I'm in the loop. I get sent tons and tons of songs every week. It's hard to keep up, but the songs don't sound exactly like the other songs I'm getting. So it kind of stands out that the video out now. That track, you won with that track. It doesn't sound like anything DJs could rock it. I could rock that out at a party, to be honest with you. And that's rare for underground indie hip hop. The horns in there, it's up tempo, exciting. Not just there's a whole wave of and I dig the 80 beats per minute, no drums, spoken word. I killed everybody and sold the most drugs, poetry, but. After a while, you want to hear drums, something a little bit more upbeat, something that brings you back, something a little more. When I hear those songs, the vibe I'm in, I'm getting Leaders of the New School, Bush Babies. I'm going, like it's bringing me back that way, not where not the tough guy stuff where I just and that's a huge deal. It makes it stand out. So the feedback has been great for that reason alone. I think it just based off of my own friends.
Right.
I mean, I got 3 new baby mamas off of that shit. You know? But like Jeff said, man, listen, one of the things that doing Gorilla Grooves Radio for so many years, one of the things that stood out to me, I would ask dudes that came on the show, like, yo, man, so what's up with this album? What's this album about? And one guy, I won't say his name, one guy was like, yo, man, it's about my life. And I'm like, how interesting is your life? We don't talk about our lives. It's very selfish. We try to embrace people who think like us in order to entertain you. And I mean, with this joint, it's a little. I've heard some mixtapes, and it's hard for fucking DJs to blend this with other songs because other songs are just so below in BPMs.
Yeah, the tempo don't match, and the vibe, it's
Yeah, but like I said,
it's great. It stands out.
but like I said in the new joint, man, step back and pivot, man, because we above the clouds, we past the Holy Spirit, we up there, and we're not gonna stop being up there. So enjoy it and recognize. The feedback has been fantastic. Shouts to everybody who's loving the track. Yeah. Share it with your mamas, and then again, man, go into your kid's wallet and steal money to buy it.
Speaking of buying it, where and when is this project available?
It'll be available Tuesday, July 8th. We have a limited CD. It'll be available on my Bandcamp, Silent Someone Bandcamp, Tuesday.
Very dope.
CD drops in the digital on all the digital platforms. So
once this album does its thing, what is next for the group?
4. We already got the intro on like 3 songs.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Trying to get a 4th baby mama, kid.
We're gonna dance routine. We need a 3-man dance routine.
Yeah, that's it.
Any plans to go on tour?
Listen,
all of us in tank tops.
Yeah, listen, man. This is for those who have ends with tours. We are willing to go places and make some money and stay at a Motel 6 where prostitution is legal. We will go there. We will share a queen size bed together. I take the middle, right? We will go.
We got head to feet.
Yeah, I will go to a motel that has 1 ice box and no ice. I'll do it. So yeah, man. I mean, we don't have a tour manager. If someone's listening, you'll be my tour manager and my 5th baby mama. No, I'm only kidding. But if you wanna, we'll come. We'll come to your city, man. I mean, but we don't have a tour manager, but we are looking to go out there and perform. We are performers. I love to perform. I do this for people who don't want to see me in the beginning, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah, we'll put on a show.
No doubt. Before we get out of here, what do you guys have individually going on outside of this group?
That's it. I quit every job.
The group is the thing.
Yeah, to me, that's it, man. I'm on the wrong side of 40. I mean, JS is more like 12. I mean, I'm not, but seriously, I at this point in life, man, I mean, no one here is a rookie. We put out tons of work individually, together, whatever it may be. But moving forward, this is it. These are the guys I'm gonna go to the old nursing home with. We're gonna lose our memory together.
That's not.
Yeah, there's nothing else. This is the band. If you want us in your town, send some money for the Greyhound. Woo!
I have a few things. I have a me and Mike Titan that's coming out soon, August. I produced an album for him. I'm working on something with Rex. We might do a little 4-song EP. Sorry, and doing producing an album for Cortona P. But other than that, Silent Funk is the main objective. But
JS, I see you got some art going on there. What do you have going on?
Yeah, just been in my graph mode, so I'll sneak out, do some graph. Been doing that a lot. That's kind of I switched from music to graph over the past since I started doing it. Sometimes I get into graph mode. I started off graph mode when I was a kid, collected records, went into DJ mode, switch back to graph mode. So right now I kind of been in graph mode, but also I don't know, I have enough material for like 2 albums. I just got lazy and unmotivated. Um, Trying to motivate myself to release all the music that I have. Eventually, I will on my own time. A lot of it is I don't want to say timeless. I don't like saying that, but it's not. It doesn't have to be current. It doesn't matter when I release it. So just sitting. I'm sitting on a ton of work, but I'll get it out there. Just trying to figure out the right process. It's nice to see that Fat Beats when I had a deal with Fat Beats forever, and then when they just sold, and they were when they did the new deal, that they contacted me to say that they'll continue the deal with me to keep putting out my records. So that's a good thing. And so we'll keep coming with some records soon. But right now I'll be doing some stuff with Silent Funk and spraying some paint and having fun. Trying to keep the stress out of my life.
Very dope. The group is Silent Funk. The
Silent Funk plus
Silent
one.
Funk 3. Silence Before the Funk out July 8th. Be sure to cop that. Before we get out of here, fellas, can you share your social media?
Rhino wants a fifthbabymama.com. At Rhinoceros Funk, Instagram. That's about it. Or you can catch me on 161 slapping homeless niggas with a piece of chicken wing because I'm hungry.
By the stadium.
By the stadium.
At Silent Someone _BX. Instagram is the only thing I really fuck with. So
I'm at DJJS1.
One.
Check out my graph. I post a lot of graph. Don't message me. I never reply. I don't. I'm gonna check.
Oh, please message me because I definitely want to support a young lady and her pill problems. I have a whole bunch of fun with that. Have you ever just fell in love? And I'm like, yeah, sure, man. Let's talk about this love on Instagram. It's hilarious to me. I can go an hour with it, bring my wife into the whole joke, and then she's like, "God, let's go visit her in prison."
Very dope. Appreciate you guys for the opportunity. Big shout out to Jerry Graham for connecting us. Like I said, the new project out July 8th. Any last words for you guys, supporters, before we get out of here?
Go get the album.
Oh, JS is the art. We didn't mention that. JS is the art on that.
Oh yeah.
Front cover and back cover. And back cover.
I got it. I got when he sent it to me. I was like,
great. So not only did we get a DJ, we got an art director, part-time lunch lady. It's gonna be great.
He's executive producer next album. He's executive.
We'll be in Romania next week. We're performing in the goulash. No, that is Silent Funk plus one, man. We love y'all. Hip hop, conscious hip hop, beautifully done hip hop. We didn't murder anybody on this album. No bang bang. No. We didn't sell drugs on this album. No, not yet. All right, none of that. It's music
every beat.
Yeah, man. It's music for your soul, and yeah, man. That's all I gotta say right now. So it's fun. What y'all gotta say?
It's a shame. If you would have sold drugs and killed somebody, 50 and Nas would have made a documentary about you.
Oh shit! Boom, boom, boom!
Pow, pow.
No doubt. That is Rhinoceros Funk, Silent Someone, DJ JS1, Silent Funk. I am the Jones Sin-seer. It's been another episode of Now Hear This. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
Thanks for having us, brother.
Thank you.
No doubt. See you guys in the near future.
Peace.
Peace.